start telling you to check out this document. But the document that we have with our notes in there, I'm looking at the mental health topic.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yes,
bolded
sir.
that. So what I'm gonna do is when we update these documents, what I'm gonna do is bold the topics that I feel like are super, pertinent. Like, all right, bet we should talk about that soon. Yeah. So
Okay.
so I bolded that joint. So I figure we can talk about. But I mean, what were your thoughts on, like, what made you want to talk about that? Because it's basically Black mental health, Black community. I don't know if it was specifically for Black men or if it was just in general. What were your thoughts on it?
I was just really just basing it off of a lot of our own experiences, and how, we like the things that we struggle with as far as those particular things. The fact that now it's starting to get its own legway as far as, like, media is really starting to pick up with
Right.
the idea of how, mental health is like really a big deal, especially in our community, because a lot of times we don't, we at first we weren't even really, we didn't have the liberty to say, yo, I'm depressed.
Right.
Or I'm going through something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We had to, like, look up.
Yeah. And we didn't.
And
we also didn't have the knowledge base to even know that was the thing, right?
We didn't even know we was even upset.
Right.
Niggas didn't even know they was upset.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, I mean, and I was talking about it to somebody the other day. It's just like trauma. When you talk about trauma, at our age, we're in our 30s, so it's like you look back on when you were young, and it's like, oh snap, yeah, that was kind of traumatic. I didn't repeat that. Like,
yeah,
that was pretty traumatic. I've been through trauma, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like, I mean, as far as myself, I could definitely speak on a lot of different things. I mean, the most traumatic thing that I can honestly say that attributed to, the things that I had to go through as far as my depression or anything that I've ever dealt with in my life before, it always stems with that one keynote, that daddy issue. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. So
absence of.
Right.
Oh my God, that is set the tone, right. And not having the tools. You know what I'm saying? Not having that education as far as, manhood and all.
Right.
Not having that.
A mother can do their part, but a mother can't necessarily teach a boy how to be a man. Right? Absolutely. She can point you in the right direction, but she can't show you. She can't portray it, right? Because she's a woman. She's not a man. Right. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Especially when she is going through something at the same time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And that was probably the biggest struggle that I've ever had to experience growing up as a young man. I'm dealing with somebody that's extraordinarily broken, and she's trying to coach, trying to help me understand what life is about, and she's broken. You know what I'm saying? So how that has an adverse effect on myself and what that makes me do, and the things that I had to, the things that just put me in a real tough state of mind. You know what I mean? And how I deal with things. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And because I've been in situations where I was so torn in myself that I would hermit myself. I wouldn't even talk to people for weeks on
end. You start retreating into your own bubble.
Exactly.
For some people they get introverted. For some people they might even get super extroverted because they're trying to fill that void with relationships, right? So you got a lot of guys out here. They might fill that void with women. They might fill that void with going out all the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so it's definitely different ways that people deal with it. But the origin is all the same. It's all the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I've been blessed. I can honestly say that I've been blessed to have a lot of the positive reinforcement. It's all my friends and support that I've always had over the years. Like I've
Facts.
had guys like in my life. I've had guys like Scoob and all my other great friends that I have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That definitely will pull me out of any rut that I was ever in. I've had I got one of the most positive brothers in my life. James is probably one of the most positive brothers.
James is like Mr. Positivity, Yo, you know
I
what?
swear to God.
So hold up. I'm glad you brought that up too, because there's one thing that James, his little punk ass put me on to one time. That's my guy. That's my guy, but you know how I go.
Absolutely.
But he put me on to something one time because I used to get I would get real intense about things. I would get real intense. I would get real angry. And that intensity, the intensity was like, I couldn't even cover it up. So, but James is real lighthearted. He on some he hipster, you know what I mean? Just riding the wave. He on his Max Bigger Bell, you know what I mean? So he just rides the wave. And one time he told me, I think something happened to him. And I was like, damn. I was like, yo, you all right? Or, how you doing? And he was just, I think we were in the car, we were driving. And he was just like, yeah, man, it ain't about nothing. And I was like, what you mean it ain't about nothing? He was like, yo, that's what I say to myself. I always say to myself, it ain't about nothing. And he's like, that's like his mantra to get through and get to the next thing. Because especially if it's something that you can't do anything about at the time, it's like, well, I mean, it's about something, but it ain't about nothing today. Because what I'm gonna do about it right now?
Absolutely.
So that was his way of. Now you can't. It ain't about nothing your way into ignoring real problems, but so it can turn on you real quick. But if you feel yourself kind of getting obsessive about if you take an L or if something goes wrong, then it is kind of healthy to have that moment where you're like, you know what, it ain't about nothing. I'll get back to that when I got the time,